You know, it just gets better and better. Each time I do it. Clobberin Times. 24/7. Blow that shit up, brother. And our special guest this evening, the Comic Relief Crusader. Gentlemen, we'll start with Clobby and go around the room. Clobby, how are you doing, my friend?
All right, dude. Glad to be here. I hope you didn't hurt your voice there, brother.
No. You know, it's live. I've kind of gotten used to it.
Oh, well, there you go. Good. Well, it's great to be here, buddy. It's good to see you. And my boy, 24. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up? Oh, man.
Good to see you, brother.
Not much, man. How you doing?
All right, bud. Good to see you. And my old chap, my old lad, Comic Relief Crusader, who I've been on a couple of streams together. I believe we've been on one of the great Mark D's channel.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so good to see you, buddy. I hope you're doing well. And hey, chat, what's up out there?
What is up, everybody out there in chat? Ironcaster, what is up, my friend?
Ironcaster,
like his voice,
Yo.
like he did Popeye for decades.
What up, Caster?
Because he's a spinach. He's cut by the sailor man.
Ironcaster, sailor man. I'm sorry.
Oh, what is up, Ironcaster? Chris Persia, the wrench of wrenches, is here.
Yeah.
1/4 of the 4 horsemen of Valhalla. What is up, Chris?
Yeah.
It is good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? The lovely Sherry is
Lovely. Love you, lovely.
here.
Hello.
Absolutely. Good evening, the lovely
Ladies.
Sherry.
Yeah.
Pat S. What is up? No way the Autobots can beat the combined powers of the USS Flag and the recently captured Weather Dominator.
Pat S. Hope you're feeling better, brother. Hope you're doing well.
Or the mass device.
Oh, yeah. That's
The
right.
mass device.
Mhm.
Cobra, la 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 la.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, what is up, Pat? As Blood Guilty Gaming is here. What is up, Blood Guilty Gaming? Hell, how are you doing, my friend? Penny! It is so good to see you,
Penny.
Everybody's
up,
like
Penny?
Penny.
Hey,
What
Penny.
is up, Penny? Claude Sailing is here. And the Mad Doctor, Adega Outlaw, is here. Good evening, Adega.
What's up,
How
Adega?
are you doing, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for
Adega.
popping in. All right, let's get to this. Let's talk about 32 Flavors was here. What is up, dude? I don't know if you're still here, but dude, what is up? Energon Universe.
32.
Kick ass.
Nick.
Mhm.
What's up, Nick?
That's what I'm talking about.
Nick,
I
do it.
want good Transformer comics. I don't want to have to go back to the beginning to get good Transformer content. They should still be making good Transformer comics. And what do I mean by going back to the beginning? Well, I'm about to blow y'all's mind. I gotta get these graded. I keep saying I'm gonna get them graded. I haven't done that yet. It's been a while. I look like crap. I'm sorry. Let's see
Welcome
here.
to my personal hell. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Those are not reprints. That is original, and they are in very, very lovely, wonderful condition. I got all 3 from the movie.
Love it.
These have never been cracked. These have never been cracked. They are very nice. They've never been opened. They've never been read. I got to be really careful with them before I do something stupid, because I had to dig these out. We haven't really, I've got so much to do concerning comics. So
I just love the Don Perlin art back in the
Dude.
Will
day.
you?
Yo,
Tell
I did
Boy
in
that.
Transformers. I
Tell
did.
Hungry Boy that.
Yeah, I know.
He hates Perlin.
He'd be like, "What are you saying?" It was just a good. I don't know. It just in the Marvel issues, it just had me hooked. So
I'll go back and I'll do this full screen one more time. I look like crap, guys. I don't know why you want me.
No, you don't, man. What you talking about with us?
I look terrible. I've been running my butt off. I'm wearing a damn I drink and I know things shirt.
Cool. Probably why I don't know things, because I don't drink.
Yeah, that's
Full screen.
Ultra Magnus.
That's yep. And Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
Bumblebee.
Who's that? Blur?
Cayenne.
Behind him?
Yeah, I
Yup.
think so.
It's
Bumblebee.
Springer- from left to right, it's like Springer, RC, Ultra Magnus, Hot Rod, Cup, and Bumblebee.
Yes. And the Galvatron and the sweeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Scourge and the Sweep.
Scourge.
Yup.
The sweeps and
Cyclonus.
Cyclonus.
They
And
kept
that one-
shrapnel in there.
They got shrapnel and they got
Is it
who's the other gun? He's the other
Shockwave.
gun. Shockwave, thank you.
Shockwave?
As you can see. At your command, Lord Megatron. They've never been cracked. They've never been read. I know what a sin, right? What a sin to have never opened them up and read them, but this was a Christmas gift from the
Nice.
lovely, sultry heiress of chaos.
Nice.
Oh, love it. I think I still have mine somewhere.
Last one.
There you go,
Yeah.
brother.
Unicron.
Unicron.
Unicron, yup.
Megatron, is that you?
Here's a hint.
It was such a fantastic scene.
Oh, okay. Let me get. I hate being blown up. All right.
I still actually have all my Transformer universe issues, because remember back in the day, Marvel would do all these, universe issues with all the characters. I still have mine from childhood.
Really? I've got my GI Joe comics from when I was a kid.
Nice. And they're a bit ratty and, falling
Yes.
apart a little bit, but I don't care. I love them to death.
I've got Heathcliff comics from when I was a kid.
Nice.
Oh yeah. I used to have those too, man. The Heathcliff ones.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was wasn't it Star?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I think that was Marvel Star because they did Heathcliff. They did the
It was
Muppet
Star
Baby.
Comics. Yeah.
Yeah.
They called it Star Comics. It was
Yeah.
for the younger readers. Yeah. That's right.
Yup.
You got all those, I bet you. Huh? They didn't seem to last too long, did it?
No, it didn't.
No, actually, they I mean, they ran for a few years. They had, if I'm not mistaken,
but-
I think they had the Get Along Gang. They had
Yeah,
a,
it's
they had
not
a
that
few,
long.
right?
Yeah.
It had to
They
be
had
like
Pound
maybe
They had Pound
Yeah,
Puppies. Comics.
Yep. I think it had to be less than 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
seems so.
definitely had a less than 5 year run on that little.
That's when they did Thundercats under that one, didn't they?
Yep,
I
sure
think
did.
so, yeah. I think they had Rainbow Bright too.
And
Yep, they
and
did.
Pound
They
Puppies.
did. Yep.
Yep.
And the Pound Puppies. Yep. So we ain't even talking about Transformers no more.
Oh, sorry.
Oh shit. But yeah, man, that was an interesting little line for the kids, basically.
Oh, it was.
And I think they had Voltron also.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Hmm.
Dang. Now we're getting into all the giant robots.
I like Shogun Warriors. This is probably years before all this. Probably the
Oh
only
yeah,
robot
I
comic
remember
I bought.
Shogun. I remember,
Bought
man.
that-
I remember
bought
the
it for a
toys.
while. Well, I bought it for a while. The comic. We never got the toys around here at any store I saw. But
Ooh,
we got the comic with Herb Tripp doing the art.
man!
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I owned 2 of those toys, those big
Ooh.
ones, and I owned the Godzilla, where you press the button and the hand will shoot out.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I owned those, and I owned the ones where you press the button and the fist would come out from the Shogun Warriors. I remember my brother, he hit me in the face with one of those. Oh shit, that shit
wasn't
hurt.
gonna-
I remember as a kid, I was like,
I wasn't gonna bust out any toys, but since people are bringing it up, since you want to talk about studio,
Oh, he's busting them out. Here we go.
that is the cell shaded
Oh,
Optimus Prime.
MP10.
oh wow,
Yeah, the
Beauty.
MP10 cell shaded, so it looks like the cartoon.
Oh, dude, that
Optimus
kicks
Prime.
ass.
So I
Love
don't like to
it.
take them out of the box, but yeah. So holy crap, we got another visitor.
Hello, hello.
Yeah. I thought I'd bring you a
Ah!
surprise visitor. The
Yeah,
great
was up?
chief engineer.
I just got back from Godzilla -1 -Color. It was like I had rented out the theater. It was me and one other guy at the 5 o'clock show.
What'd you think?
That was awesome. Yeah, very
Yeah.
well done.
Mhm.
You forget you're reading the subtitles after a while too, which is amazing. So
The
Yeah.
same thing happened with me and Eris. Nobody was there, so we got to see. We saw it. We saw
Black
the
and
color
white?
one in 4DX, and then we went back and saw the black and white one on a bigger
Nice.
screen, and it was just
Wow,
I didn't
I'm
see it
glad
in
you got.
color, so I can't compare. But yeah, it was.
Glad you got to see it though. I'd love to see it in black and white, but I'll probably when it comes out on Blu-ray or something.
Well, the 4DX is like smell-o-vision, dude. You're
Yeah,
Is that
there.
the one where the seats move up and down and
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, and you get like, okay, so when they're on the water, it's not just that your seats are rocking when they're on that boat. You smell the sea air.
wow.
Like you've got that you're getting a breeze off the water. So I mean, you're literally your face is getting hit by like sea air, and you're
A
like,
little mist.
what in the hell is going on?
Awesome.
They didn't do that with the other movie I was in, but they did that because I went and saw. I can't remember what action movie I saw in 4K. I think it was or in 4X. I think it was Dune. You
Right.
didn't get that in Dune. This, I mean, it's like, you know, when they do the thing with the mine, when the mine explodes, it's like you get enveloped in mist, like you
Right.
got
Wow.
water sprayed on you. It smells like seawater. Your chair's going nuts. Everything's the rumble seats are going, and it's just. I remember Eris looking at me like, "What the hell have you gotten me into?" Did
You
I
have
not
Godzilla's
mention?
bad breath.
Oh, dude, when he does the fire breath for the first time, your seats start to lean back. It's like da-da-da, and it starts shaking, and then it like jerks you forward when he fires. It was so
Wow.
fucking
Oh,
crazy, dude.
brutal.
It was so crazy.
Well, this is a minor spoiler. I gotta ask you, since you guys all saw it. At the end, there's a certain character, I won't even say who, has something on her neck. Was that moving or mutating, or was that just supposed to be a scar?
It's just supposed to be a scar,
Scar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
but he's not dead, obviously.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. But it looked
He's
like to
never
me
dead.
in the black and white that scar was moving or mutating or doing
Nah.
something, but that could have just been my old rickety eyes.
Yeah, it probably because you didn't see it, probably because they took the color out of it, you just didn't see what it was.
Okay, yeah, it looked like a
Yeah, it
scar,
was
but it
just
looked
a
like it was moving or mutating or doing something. So
We won't tell you who this was, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah.
Great movie. One of the best Godzilla movies ever.
Oh, when that music kicks in at the end, I mean, you get a little
Yes.
bit of the Godzilla music, for that, finale. I mean, it's just so, it just brings back so many great memories, and wow, it's just so good.
It is everything classic Godzilla, basically, in a nutshell, right?
And they didn't just
Oh,
use CG, so they had a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
They had a biome or a mechanical FX head. They had CG interwoven with all of that. So you had practical effects, you had puppeteering, you had the CGI, all of that combined to make something absolutely awesome.
Oh, so it was a guy in a suit. Okay. At
There
some
was a
points.
guy in a suit at points, yes.
That's why it looks so classic, I guess, especially in the black and white. It was like I was watching an old movie again.
Yeah, and when he's going through the city, I believe is when he's walking and when he's out of the water, it's a dude in a suit.
It looked great though, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. For less than $15 million, they did an insane job.
Yeah.
Well, but the Marvels look so great for 300 million.
Oh,
kidding.
yeah. Such a
Or
brand
150
new
million. What
movie.
did they call? What did they spend on that? Yeah.
I thought I would get through one comic book roundtable without
Sorry.
the
Don't
Marvels
boot me.
getting brought up. And then it was Mark D with a C. You see what you did, Clobby? I
I do?
blame Clobby. I don't blame you, Mark. I blame Clobby.
Okay.
What did I do now?
Oh,
I did send him the link. It's my fault. I'm sorry.
Oh God.
I'm sorry about it. Mark,
We
get
now,
out.
we now return to the Transformers.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I couldn't help it.
More than meets the eye.
Oh. No, but it's fun how it all came about, right? Because I mean, as most of the guys know, in the chat, it was originally obviously a Japanese toy, Diaclone, and a couple of guys from Hasbro going over to Japan. It's like, hey, we need new toys. So they bring them over, and next thing you know, it's like we got something. We just need a story, and next thing you know, they go to Marvel. They go to talk to Jim Shooter, and apparently, according to his recollection, something in the kid, something within his inner kid, just kind of snapped, and he comes up with a little bit of a backstory. Like I kind of know this because with like all the Transformer groups, like because on Facebook and stuff like that, this is kind of like common knowledge. But he comes up with the essential backstory, the name Cybertron, Autobots, and Decepticons, and he ends up going to Danny O'Neill originally at Marvel. Yeah. And Danny O'Neill's like,
Danny, by the way.
Yeah. And he's like, no, there's no way. Because apparently the word is that anybody that gets involved in a toy comic book, that's like, pretty much a career killer, apparently, allegedly, right?
Go Micronauts.
Yeah, exactly. so he's like, nah, yeah, no way, right? And so he ends up going to Bob Budiansky. And I think at the time around 84, I mean, he was already like, a writer editor of sorts. And they're like, okay, I need names and profiles and a story, and I need this done in a few days. And I mean, he got the work done pretty much like over the weekend. Bob Budiansky with all the names, all the profiles, and all those profiles are in the back of the boxes in the original, the original lineup, since Hasbro started producing them, all the way to like Headmasters and Power Masters and all that. So it's all Bob Budiansky's work.
So how long were they selling those toys in Japan? For a while, or it was
well, for oh boy,
they had their own show. So Takari and Toei did the animation. So they had their own show. We had a like chopped up version of that show with our own story. So they had their own story where their own stuff was going on, and we used their animation, but we changed stuff and we put our own stuff in, and we had our own story. Like Prime, who was called Convoy in Japan, he dies in like the first season, and then they like bring him back to life. That's one of the things that is like a constant, is every time Convoy dies, they bring him back and he's better than he was the last time. So they have a better toy.
Yeah.
New toy to buy because Convoy died, and we brought him back to life, and now he's got, jet wings or some shit like that.
But the American storyline was totally separate than the Japanese, or
yeah.
I mean, or interesting. Wow.
It pretty much is. Like at the end of season 4, like it was only, as some people out there might know, it's only like basically 3 episodes, right? Just to introduce, because sales were lagging, because of the movie that came out. They killed Prime, and everybody thinks, Rodimus is just, this depressing, reluctant leader and all that kind of stuff, right? And so, however, in Japan, they never saw Rebirth, the 3 episodes of, that was American animated, right? So they went down a different path. And sorry for the train in the background.
Hogwarts Express is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. And they brought out their own series, their own you can kind of call it divergent in a way, with Headmasters, of like about 26 episodes, and then it goes into Super God Master Force, where we would know him as Power Master Optimus Prime. It's a different character. The body was intended for Optimus, or known as Convoy in Japan, but it's a different character entirely. So it's not Optimus Prime.
Yeah,
and then it goes into Victory and Zone and all that stuff.
They did Beast Wars way before Beast Wars was in the US. So they did like a cartoon version of Beast Wars in Japan, whereas
Beast
we got like
Wars.
the CG thing.
Yeah, it was Beast Wars the second, and then Beast Wars Neo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then. Since you've seen them all and you know the difference between the two, what would you say had the better story?
I would have to go. This is what I do, right? I do the first 3 seasons, right? Season 1, 2, and 3, right? Obviously the movie, and then I do Scramble City, which is kind of like season, kind of like 2.5 before the movie and after season 2, and then I go straight into the Japanese series, Headmasters, and then Super God Master Force, Victory Zone, and then I read the Battlestar manga on top of that, and then eventually that leads to Beast Wars. And then Beast Wars 2, and then Beast Wars Neo.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's almost they're almost two completely different shows.
Right. But everybody
kind
looks
of.
the same, right?
Yeah, there's a few differences, like the head sculpts that you would see in season 4, like the American animated season 4,
Right.
are different in Japan. Completely
Oh, wow.
different head sculpts. Yeah, and faces and all that kind of stuff. So,
All right.
and different story on top of that. Like, and I'm not meaning to take over the show or anything like that, but the origin of the Headmasters is even different in Japan. They were like they were Cybertronian, and then they left somewhere around when the Great War on Cybertron was starting, and they fled Cybertron, ended up on a planet called Planet Master, where they honed their skills to survive, become stronger, and all that kind of stuff. And where in season 4, American season 4, they were alien nebulans that merged, binary bonded,
Right.
as it were, like in the Marvel comics. So yeah, slight difference.
Yeah, so if anybody remembers the American version of Beast Wars, that is not what we got.
No.
That is something completely alien to American audiences. This is what they got in Japan. And this was way before we got Beast Wars in our CGI version of Beast Wars.
Yeah, the Beast Wars 2 movie. Love it.
But they didn't even get a comic. So Japan didn't even get a comic. Japan didn't get the Transformers comic until like the next decade. And it was small. They were small comics. And it wasn't until after the small, and they were small. When I say small, I mean they were like the old He-Man books you used to get. They weren't
Oh,
full-size
yeah.
comics.
Yeah.
After that, they did a manga. And there were a bunch of mangas that came out that were all in black and white.
Yeah.
So.
And I got them all. I got the whole manga run, 3 different volumes. You can get them at Amazon. And and they were short stories, and they came out like every once in a while, but you can get them in like 3 collected volumes. And the art is just fantastic. It blows Marvel out of the water, right, with the artwork, I think, in my humble opinion.
All right, what do we got? We got Daniel Wiki was a headmaster. He's human.
Yeah, that's true. With RC, oh god. I hated that. I'm sorry. I just did.
I couldn't stand the headmasters. So the Optimus Prime toy was cool, and he came with his own comic book. That was one of the things you got when you bought the Gen 2 headmaster. It was Gen 3 headmaster Optimus Prime. He came with his own comic of like how he became that, how that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So and I don't even think we got to see that in the cartoon.
No, you never see that. It's kind of alluded to like in the toy commercials, sort of. but nah, you never really see like the North American side of it, how he becomes a power master. It would have been neat. So
You guys ever heard about the right going after Eric July and the Soska sisters? The right?
Yeah. It's something going on right now. I don't know if you wanted to get into that.
Are we talking about the Ethan Van Sciver thing?
Yeah, that's part of it, but they're trying to cancel them. I don't know if you want how far you want to go into what's going on with it, but I could tell you about it later if you want.
Yeah, it's the interesting thing.
All I know is that for years we have heard that Ethan is a businessman. And I remember someone saying some pretty nasty shit about Ethan. And I said, as long as he's a businessman and he is trying to sell his product as a businessman, I will purchase it. My stance on this is he has crossed a very huge line, and I'm not going to buy shit anymore. Period. Whether or not I buy other people's comics is, do they want to sell me a comic or do they want to trash talk all day online? Because I've waited years for a lot of Ethan's shit. I've spent over $4,000 on Ethan in the past.
Wow, really?
7 years. Oh yeah.
Huh.
Between Cyberfrog, between ordering multiple copies, between the action figures, I've got all of the Cyberfrog action figures sitting in a box that still hasn't been opened. I've got
those ain't cheap, yeah.
I've got the damn it, the big one, the big statues. So I've got the statue of Cyberfrog, and then I've got the statue
Salamandroid.
Salamandroid. Thank you. I've got all of that stuff.
You got like
Okay.
the warts and all, and
warts and all. I've got everything. 24 scene, at least half of the collection. Okay, I've got all of it. I paid for all of it, multiple copies. I've got multiple copies of his first one, the foil cover that he came out with like 7 years ago. That took him a year and a half to finish. I've been there from the beginning. If he wants to act like a businessman, I will buy his stuff. As long as all this drama and bullshit is going on, no. That's it. That's
he's having fun with it, so he's not going to stop anytime soon. I knew very little about the Soska sisters, other than they'd written a comic, and now they're writing one for Eric July called Yara. I can't remember, something with a Y. And
Yara.
Okay, and evidently, since it's coming out soon, they're already going after these girls who are identical twins. Some are saying that Eric shouldn't work with them because they're SJWs. Well, I don't know if that's true. I know very little about them. Some say no; those are views they held a long time ago that don't necessarily hold now. They've also apparently many years back acted in some low grade horror, independent like horror films and stuff like that. Included some softcore prawn in it. I'm using that. We're going to use the
right.
Including, since they're sisters, scenes of them. I saw someone posted a pic that Ethan posted.
Yeah. Of
the two of them kissing, which is the I word. I won't say.
Right.
Just INs.
Yeah, kissing each other. Yeah.
Right, which is a legal type of thing, but. And a whole bunch of people who, people are taking sides. Some still like both guys, but those who are on Ethan's side that don't like Eric are going after trying to cancel him, telling him he shouldn't hire SJWs. So that's when they're saying the right are going after her.
Okay. I like I said,
Or them.
If you are a businessman selling me a product, act like a businessman selling me a product. That's all I have to say. Whoever doesn't and is just here to cause drama and not actually work on the product they have been promising for however long they have been promising, I'm sorry, I don't have time for you. I am here to buy stuff and support people that are independent, that want to make money, that want to put out good products, that want to make a business out of this. I'm here to support them. I've supported Ethan for 7 years. Until this drama and this bullshit ends, I will no longer continue to support anybody, not just Ethan, but anybody that wants to put drama over making money and selling good books. That's all I care about. I want good books. I have bought some stinkers from people over the last 7 years. I'm not going to go back and buy from them again. As long as you keep giving me a good product and you keep wanting to do business, I will continue to support you. If you want to cause drama and bullshit, I have better ways to spend my money.
And our time, right? I mean, who in the long run, you don't want to hear this kind of stuff. I mean, it's just drama. It's just, I want, like you said, you want a good product. Or, I met Ethan in 2004 at my local comic book shop where I went. God, he was a nice guy, but he was just doing Green Lantern Rebirth. I think I have the first 5 issues signed from him, but no mention of politics. Of course, that wasn't in the real comic book lexicon back then, but damn, he was a nice guy. But now it seems like he always loves to stir the pot and stir up trouble. And yeah, it can be fun for some YouTube shows depending on how far you go, but it seems like you said, it's really going over the top now. It's not just good-natured teasing, or you get an argument with a buddy, or you have a disagreement and then you talk it out and you shake hands. And I mean, it's just and I'm not following it that closely either, but it's like, what the heck is going on here? And who cares if someone had quote unquote liberal views? I mean, you can't work with, then you're doing the same thing that
Eric does it, as long as they don't put it in the comic book.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Just work, if the person's agreeable, maybe you disagree with them, but as long as it doesn't mean you shouldn't talk to people or be friends with them or work with them, because that's what, quote unquote, we complain about, the other side doing all the time. And I've seen that happen many times, or people, in my, circle, stop talking over a certain person that got elected, and, they can't be friends with that person anymore. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I mean, it's, be tolerant of people. So yeah, this just seems like it's crazy.
I'll buy that book, Pat. Just tell me how much. We'll work on a good price. We'll work out a good price, and I'll buy that book.
$350.
Show me, yeah, $350. I'll give you $350. Show me that you want to bring something new, something smart, something fun, and you actually finish your product. I will buy it. I don't want to deal with a whole bunch of drama. I don't want people coming to me going, Loki, what side are you on? You've been with Ethan, blah, 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 blah. Are you really good at the turn? Ethan has said over and over again, I'm a businessman. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to sell comics. Well, show me that that's what you're here to do. You're here to sell comics. Right now, all you showing me is that you want to get in fights with people online. So.
Well, that's the weird thing. It's like, who cares what somebody else is doing in somebody else's yard, right? It's really none of Ethan's business, just as much as it's none of Eric's business what the other one does. If Eric wants to hire X, Y, and Z, well, then that's his business, right? If Ethan wants to hire such and such and that person and this person, well, okay, it's none of Eric July's business, right? Just freaking put out a book that fans want. If they buy it, great. If they don't, whatever, right?
I think the way some of the people are looking at it is there's only a limited amount of money to get out of the fandom to squeeze, and they want to be the ones doing it. They don't want anybody else carting in on their show. And were things said about, well, this is the way we're going to do it, and it's different than the way Ethan does it? Yes, they were said, but that you deal with that. You'd be like, hey, you know what? This is the way I do it. If you want to do it a different way, be my guest. It's the way I do it. If they want to do it a different way and they want to wait until it's out, that's fine. That is what the artist also agreed with. That is what he wanted, was 40% of the product when it is ready.
Yeah, the thing with Flash. Yeah.
So that's their agreement. That's their choice. No one went hungry. No one's kids didn't have Christmas. None of that shit. Quit being dramatic and move on. Exactly. I want a product. I don't want drama.
No, I'm too old for drama. So I don't care. I just want a product, and that's it, right? I think it was like Hungry that told me, you know what? If you got time to do this and this and this, then you got time to draw,
That's right.
and put out your comic, right?
That's right.
Good point.
Well, it is, right? If you got time to do, like, and I know Eric July does a lot of videos, and I know Ethan Van Sciver does a whole bunch of videos too. If you got time to make videos, then you know what? And if your patrons and whatnot, are wanting product, focus on your product first, right? Let your work speak for itself. It's as simple as that.
What's up, Nick?
Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Huge. It's huge.
It's a big mess, and it's a shame because again, there are a lot of people who were fans of both of them, and some have chosen sides, and some have just kind of it hurts their heart, so they kind of stay away from it a little bit. I only see it because I have them both in my feed. I should probably unfollow the drama when the EVS went, but I see a lot of. That's the only reason I know what's going on with it. I don't really care. I don't buy any of their books. I wish them the best. A lot of my friends like their stuff. But I think part of it seems to me, this is from an outsider that knows nothing. It seems to me that Eric, certainly I don't think Eric said anything bad about the crowdfunding people, but some of them seem to take offense that he came at it from a different angle. And Ethan's been in the business almost 30 years. Eric just started, and yet he's being very successful very quickly with a business model that no one was really using exactly like that ever.
That's right.
Yeah,
and hiring a lot of employees,
and it seemed like a lot of the comic skaters, who a lot of them have been pros or been around a long time. I don't know. This is speculation. Did they take offense at that? That they a little bit? I'm not going to say jealous or anything, but I don't know. They were like, "Hey, we're pros. This guy comes out of nowhere and does all this." Well, so what? I mean, he's successful at it. So
exactly.
So what?
Why not work with the guy?
Work with him, coexist with him, because he didn't. Look, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I know that one of them released private emails when they're in discussions where they are having a bit of a dust up in private, and that's not good. But I do know that, try to get along and realize, come together and say, look, we can disagree. We can even talk about it in public a little bit if we want, but let's realize that we both there's a big fan base out there. A lot of them who like both of us. Let's not sour that, because now a lot of them just take sides. People are doctrinaire and tribal in this world. They just are.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
It is.
So.
Have you checked out Void Rivals, Nick? Void Rivals kind of like was the hidden secret. I don't know how secret it was, considering I knew about it before I went and bought it. It was kind of like the secret on-ramp for that. For the Transformers comics we're getting now. Especially the crossovers we're about to get. You just read, so I got the 1 in 100 variant, and I got the regular one for my kid. And I remember my kid coming in going, "Oh my God, it's Jetfire. What is Jetfire doing in here?" And I'm like, "You're gonna have to keep reading." She's like, "You're gonna have to send them to me."
Exactly. It's good. I picked up the 5th printing of Void Rivals 1. And I just kind of found it by accident. Like, there's this new comic book store about, like 20 minutes away. And I was asking, "Hey, you got the new Transformers and Void Rivals in?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know. So, just kind of check out whatever's on the shelf, right?" So I'm flipping around. It's like,
I hate that.
I know, right? And so I picked up. I got the first printing.
Nice.
Picked up the first printing, and then on top of that, I picked up the other number 1, the 3rd printing. So, because I like that cover, that's a pretty damn good cover. And then I got ended up getting Void Rivals number 1, 5th printing right there, right? And I
got the common one, and then I got the one with Jetfire on the cover. That was mine. I didn't want I would have gotten my kid one of those too. It was more expensive, but I didn't want her to know. I didn't want her to see and know. So I wanted her to read it. And she'd been here for a couple of days and had it, and I gave it to her. Like when I picked her up in the airport, I gave it to her in the car. And she was like, "What is this?" I was like, it's a robot book. And she goes, cool. All right. You know, she loves robots. She loves Transformers. You know, it was a couple days later that she came out of her room and went, oh my God. And I was like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other printings of Void Rivals, they got the quintessons on them, and the art just looks beautiful. Oh my God. I had to do a second take of it because it's like, dude, that almost looks like the box art from when I did the quintessons for X Transbots. And it's like, it almost looks like the box art that I did. And I'm like,
Nice.
oh my God. And I'm going to have to go back because my wife was actually asking me like back in Sunday, it's like, oh, do you want to go to that comic book? Like, this is something she never says, right? And she happened to say it like on Sunday because she was going to pick up some weights and stuff like that. And she's like, do you want to go to that comic book store that you checked out like, you know, the other week? I'm like, right? It's like, yeah. You know, it's so she's checking it online. It's like, oh, they're closed today. It's like, damn it. So I will go back. I will get those covers. Those like here, I'm gonna show you something here, if that's okay. So because the box art, that's the box art I did for X Transbots, right? And the cover art, like one of the printings to like Void Rivals, I'm not entirely sure, but it looks pretty much like that. And that's like the box art that I did for Dr. Egg. So it looks almost like that. So, and I think they got another one. Sorry, that's my prosecutor. So it's my X-Transbots prosecutor. And I think the other one has the prosecutor because the prosecutor ends up showing up in Void Rivals as well. And it almost looks like my box art from that from X-Transbots. So that's my shit. So, and that's my box art.
When Comic Relief Crusader says that's it shit, he really means that's his shit.
Yeah, that's right. And I can prove it. I got the receipts. So, because on the back of the instruction book is my little company logo right there. So,
nicely done.
Thank you. So, but yeah, it's at first I wasn't sure that I was gonna like the art in the new Image comic, but it works. It just does, right? I can't explain it. You know, it looks, I don't want to say it looks scratchy, but I don't know, just something about it works in the Transformer comic. And then you know, after that, reading what was it, Duke and Cobra Commander like a couple of weeks ago, they got a really good storyline going, how they're slowly intertwining everything together. Like especially in issue 3 of Transformers, you find out that it's Duke that's in, well, actually I don't want to give any spoilers, right, in case anybody didn't read it. So go read the comic. I'm not going to say anymore. So
I've got my second issue in the other room somewhere. I had to dig for the Transformers the movie ones,
right.
But in my second issue, Starscream's standing there and he's pointing, and then Cobra Commander's standing there and pointing back, and it's like anybody that knows, you know, it was the same voice actor that did the role for Cobra Commander and
Chris Latta.
Yeah. And Starscream. So you're kind of like, ha, I see what you did there.
Oh, it was beautiful. It's like, yeah. Those two are a match made in heaven, right? So, and then when IDW did the 30th anniversary of the animated movie, you know, with Don, I can never pronounce his name, Don Figueroa.
Figueroa.
You know, he got his start actually on the TF 2005 message boards. That's how he actually got his start, by doing art that way. And then eventually he found his way into Dreamwave Comics. And then he did the 30th anniversary animated movie, which Bob Budiansky from Marvel wrote. So I just find that was a really awesome nod off. So the guy that ended up coming up with all the names and all the profiles, Bob Budiansky, he writes the 30th anniversary for IDW for the animated movie. So it was just, and it's fantastic art that Don does. So
Did you sell a lot of Transformers or G.I. Joe comics in your comic book shop?
We did in the early days when it started coming out in the early 80s. At first, not as much. I mean, I probably ordered maybe a handful of them. We'd have folders in those days. Maybe ordered like 10 to 15 or so for the rack. Because again, I remember the astonishing thing for many of us was, this is G.I. Joe? Because remember the toys, the bigger ones that we had when as kids then hadn't been on the racks for a while. All of a sudden you start seeing ads for a G.I. Joe comic book, a cartoon, and some toys in the stores, and they're tiny. And so we knew it was a toy tie-in, obviously, made sense. So we it had an audience. I can't say it was one of the bigger sellers at first, but it sold very consistently, and then just started, selling more and more as time went on. But it was not only on the comic shops, of course, it was a newsstand mag as well. So it sold very well out there, at the stores and stuff. Had a big following and popularity, I'm sure you're well aware. And then looking back, you didn't hear back then. That was you got to understand, that was in the early 80s with this comic renaissance of the independent comics, the comic shops. You were getting, Frank Miller had just awed the world with his Daredevil. Byrne Claremont X-Men had just been had been huge, as they say. New Teen Titans, and of course a lot of the comics from the independent publishers were also big. So that was good. That comic was aimed at younger readers. So you didn't hear much in the comic book press, critically speaking, about it one way or the other. And it's only, now or the past 10 or 20 years or so that a lot of adults who read them as a kid go back and give Larry Hama some of his, his credit for writing what was a really good, really intense, war comic.
Yeah.
And he gets a lot of critical praise today in the past 20, 30 years. But, my buddy Michael French of Retroblasting loves Larry Hama's G.I. Joe, and he's not the only one. But at the time, he and a lot of other people were very young when those came out. So the critical acclaim that was given mainly to the writing of that comic early on and through the 90s, through the 80s, and into the 90s, that, Marvel run, wasn't a thing during the course of the run of the comic. Not that it didn't have its readers, but again, like I said, they were very young. Then a lot of those youngsters, of course, became adults in the late 90s and then the 2000s and started to look back fondly and critically acclaim the G.I. Joe series with in particular Larry Hama.
Got a $5 super chat from Psychodorp9. He says, I basically soloed a 430 foot. He meant to put 430 foot unit today. Got a dip, kick ass, Gortam 40. I don't know what he meant by that. 430, 40 foot
unit. Soloed.
40 foot unit or 430 foot?
Soloed. Well, good. A 40.
Keep kicking ass, brother.
I think he means a $40.
Soloed a
maybe
$40 foot unit today.
It was 40 foot.
40 foot.
40 foot.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Psychodorp9. A 40 foot unit today. Got a dip, kick ass. Keep kicking ass, brother. You're doing great. You sent me some pretty cool pictures, and I'm like, damn. So keep kicking ass. Keep taking names. Valhalla stands with you, brother. And this one is just for you, my friend. Skull!
Spartans! What is your profession?
Damn right. That's absolute badasses.
Huge,
For
huge, totally huge.
Huge pizza. Disney Sheepherder. What's up, brother? He says, what the F? I thought I was a member. Lurking just isn't the same. Guess I smashed the like button and run. Thank you. I thought you were a member too. I think last time you were on here, I thought you were a member.
YouTube can be funny in the way that it works sometimes with the memberships and super chats. And yeah.
I know, right?
How they do stuff. I really don't.
But
It's odd.
the fun thing is that G.I. Joe and Transformers have always gone pretty much hand in hand, right? Like, you know, back in the Marvel days, I mean, they did the crossover. I think it was like Michael Higgins that wrote it and Herb Trimpe that drew it. So, you know, you had that, and then of course you had the little nod off in season 3 with, you know, Snake that ends up showing up, you know, because at the end of that one particular episode, you know, he shouts out Cobra, so you know it's Cobra Commander. And then, you know, of course, you have the character Melissa Fairborn, who is the daughter, I believe, of Duke, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's one of those G.I. Joe characters. So it's always been intertwined, you know, for the longest time, like since the Marvel days. And, you know, then you had the other crossovers that went on actually from Image, like way back when they did G.I. Joe and Transformers, right? And then G.I. Joe Transformers 2. And then who took over after that? It was a particular studio that was with Image, and then they ended up leaving to try to do their own Transformers comic. And you know, then Dreamwave got the Transformers license. They never got the G.I. Joe license, which is kind of odd. And then they kind of squandered it, unfortunately. And then, you know, IDW ends up getting it, and they did a whole bunch of G.I. Joe Transformer crossovers. So, you know, which is kind of great. So, you know, I'm hoping big things for Image, that they do it right. You know,
So that's all we can hope for, is that they do it right and they respect it and they respect the IP. That's what we want. We want our IPs to be in the hands of people that love them, that respect them, that want them to be classics forever. I can go back and I can watch G1 Transformers. I can watch G2 Transformers. I can watch Beast Wars. I can watch Beast Machines. I can go back and I watch all this stuff. But there are ones that are coming out now that I'm just like, yeah, I will never watch that. I'll never come back and watch that.
Yeah.
We want stuff that's timeless. That's what we want. They don't want to make anything that's timeless. They want to make shit. Disney Sheepherder, thank you so very much, my friend. The memberships keep this place going day in, day out. They literally keep the lights on. Thank you, brother. He says, if YouTube won't let me be a member, guess I'll gift some memberships, Loki. And he does just that. Disney Sheepherder gifts 5 Loki's Mornings of Mischief memberships. Penny gets a membership. Ironcaster gets a membership. WAP gets a membership. And James Dosher gets a membership. Thank you so very much, Disney Sheepherder, for those 5 Loki's Mornings of Mischief memberships, brother. They're so very generous. I don't have a RoboCop clip for you, bro, but I may have. Let's see. I can tuck and roll you. Give me a little skull and tuck and roll. Not only did he get tuck and rolled out the van, but the Harrier tuck and rolled out of the way of the missile. So it's really a double tuck and roll. Holy shit, guys. We're almost at the end of this. Guys, thank you so much, everybody, for being here and hanging out with us. Sean Green says, I love the morning stream before work. Thank you, brother. Thank you so very much. We love doing it. We absolutely love doing it. Can you fly, Bobby?
Yeah, you
Clearance
fly,
now.
Bobby.
Bitches leave.
Yes, sir.
Dude, I was like 8 or 9 when I saw that in theaters. I'm not shitting you. It was like family movie night. And what do you want to go see? And I was like, you know, they've got the fist. It was the poster of the fist with the blade coming out of the top of it, you know, like he's flipping you off. And I
Yeah.
was like, I want to go see that. And my mom was like, I don't know about that. My dad was like, no, let's go see that. It sounds good. RoboCop.
Well,
It's not that hard of an R, right?
No.
they had to cut
No.
it down to an R though, because Paul Verhoeven, the opening scene, was cut to an R because the scene where the Ed 209 shoots the guy.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
he
they
left-
had to cut that, right?
Because he left
tone
it
down.
going like, yeah, it was just like ridiculous. He left it going for a while.
Oh, but think of the artistry that we missed out on.
Talk to the Paul Verhoeven, talk to the NC double, whatever they are.
Oh
I
man.
think they released it on the DVD or the Blu-rays. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do. They do.
Nice.
I got the 4K recently, and I was like, "What's all
Oh, you
this
got the
extra
4K?
shit? I never remember these extra scenes." And it's like do, and I'm like, "Cool, do. Holy shit, do. I don't remember it going on this long. Do. And I was like, "Son of a bitch."
I think that was the first Blu-ray I ever saw, or maybe first DVD I rented, 20 plus years ago at the video store. They finally had, it was VHS. And then I think that was like I think it was the first DVD I ever saw. I had to put it in my computer to play it too. Of course, it was before, like, you had DVD players. Like, oh, wow, this looks so awesome. It's high res. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a classic. God.
MPAA, I meant, not NCAA. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
Well, you can't say
Yeah, they
anything
wouldn't
on
allow
here.
that at the basketball game either.
No, the NCAA does not like you putting that in movies. Well, there you go, everybody. What a
Sean Green with $10 super chat. Thank you so very much,
Go.
Sean Green, for your $10 super chat. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla, and this one is just for you. Welcome to the horde. Welcome to the Valhalla horde. Skull! I love that at the end. You throw that spear. I got one of those coming. So when I get my Rohirrim spear, it's Amir's spear. I got Amir. I got a whole set. I got Amir's sword, his helmet, and his spear on the way.
Dude.
So that is coming. When I get that in, we'll do like a little video about it. But
Nice.
guys, there is a link in the chat. It is for Comic Relief Crusader. You can subscribe to his channel right there. It is pinned in the comment section. So when the comments come back, whenever YouTube decides to get off its ass and approve everything everybody said, it'll be there in chat if you want to subscribe. So let's go around the room. We'll go around the room real quick, see what everybody's doing. We'll start with you, Comic Relief Crusader. Let us know what you got coming up.
Yeah, well, hey guys, it's me, Comic Relief Crusader. Some of you guys in the chat know me, some of you don't, but on my channel, we talk about some of the stuff, and I kind of took this hint from Pop, like, a little over a year ago. Talk about some of the stuff that isn't being covered by, like, the big YouTubers out there and stuff like that. So I touch on the news that everybody else misses out on and stuff like that. Plus, on top of that, have fun with it, because that's the point of doing a channel, having fun with it, right? No matter how grim it might sound. So every Tuesday, we got a titillating Tuesday with a bunch of guys, and we do stupid stuff on there that makes everybody laugh. And we do the same thing end of the week on a Friday on Frantic Fridays. And we show a little bit of extra something at the end of the show So for you guys out there to get a good laugh and get your weekend whole started and pumped up and just relax, ease into it. So on my channel, we talk about everything from comics and movies and TV shows. And yes, because, I do some stuff with third-party outfits and stuff like that. Figures as well, collectible figures and whatnot. So later on, probably in the year, gonna be dumping out a comic book of my own. So stay tuned. You will be hopefully pleasantly surprised and get a good laugh on top of it.
Absolutely. I can't wait. Let me know when your book goes on sale. We'll definitely back it.
Cool, man.
Clobby, we got can't wait for Friday night. Clobby already coming in from the Ironcaster.
Yeah.
And from the huge.
Yeah.
Nick
Well,
Weiser.
and once I got a lot of more streaming in me tonight, and I'm about to run over there to our buddy Dadman's channel to talk some NFL playoffs and Super Bowl coming up for about an hour. Then I go to my show, Wildcard Wednesday night. So I'll go straight to that from that. And then, of course, tomorrow night, the Clubhouse, a very special edition because we'll have, special in a bad way because our buddy, the chief engineer, Mark D, won't be able to make it. So no reviews.
My wife's birthday. So, everyone suggests that I go out to dinner with her instead of going to the Clubhouse.
Yeah, can you believe he would put his wife's birthday over my show? What a backstabber. But anyway, it's always cool. We'll miss him, but we'll carry on. And he's a valuable asset to the show, so we'll always miss him. But we'll carry on the Clubhouse, and he'll be there next week. So, so Friday night on my buddy J-Man's channel, we're continuing our reviews, our coverage of Frank Miller's Daredevil run, which is where Sean and J-Man and I are reviewing all of Frank Miller's run on Daredevil. Classic run that changed comics. And then Friday night on Nick Weiser's channel, Nick and the gang and the Friday Night Comic Shop Boys, we're going to be reviewing at 8:30 Central the Marvel graphic novel X-Men God Loves, Man Kills, a classic by Chris Claremont and Brett Anderson. So looking forward to that. Then it's Saturday night Star Trek, and then Sunday night Geek Review Mark that he can tell you about.
Yeah.
Saturday night Star Trek on the Clobberin Times network.
I forgot to say it like that. I'm sorry, Loki, but it'll be quite the contest. And if you'll excuse me, I will run off to get some more football talk done, buddy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You've been quite a gentleman.
I love it when he breaks out his Howard Cosell.
Thank you.
That's why I do that. Just trying to get him to do that at least one time on the
We
show.
have one. No, I got an old friend of mine that hates it. So I'm glad you guys are nice.
I love it.
Like it.
Oh, I love
Thank you, buddies.
Thank you.
Later, bros.
Later, guys.
Take care.
All right.
Mark D with C, if you got anything you want to share, by all means.
Sure, yeah. Well, thank you for having me tonight, and I'll be talking a little bit of Godzilla -1 color again this week on the Geekery. So Sunday night Geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern. We're hanging out at Clobberin Times and friends and talking, whatever's going on during the week. We end up talking about food or who knows what, or some of my toy collection. I've been got to get some more videos up lately. YouTube dinged me for doing all those shorts. I was having a lot of fun doing those shorts every day with just the toys in my collection, but I can't do those anymore because they say they're too commercial. But I got to start doing maybe short reviews of some of my toys. I guess that's the way to get around it. But it was a pleasure to be here tonight. Yeah, if you haven't seen, well, I guess you can't see Godzilla -1 anymore. I think it's out of theaters now. I think tonight was the last night.
I'm sure tonight was the last night. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I went tonight. So, but hope everyone got a chance to see that. But so 10 p.m. Eastern, Sunday night. Check out Sunday Night Geekery. And I'm always hanging out with Clobberin Times on his channel. He lets me pop in all the time. So it's always a lot of fun hanging out there.
24/7. What do you got going, brother?
Life.
All
it.
right. Oh, shit. All right.
The
brother.
universe and everything.
Guys, make sure you're subscribed to 24/7 Fusion Media. He will be back to doing streams soon at some point in the near future. We're just working. He's just working on some stuff, getting some stuff taken care of. So thank you for taking the time to be here. Thank you, Comic Relief Crusader. Mark D with the C, ladies and gentlemen. And in honor of the Clobberin Times, thank you, brother, for being here. Guys, we'll catch you next week. We will be back. Take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak, friend, enter. And join us next Wednesday on the Comic Book Roundtable. Have a great one, everybody.
Good night.
Later.
So 24. Peace.
Peace.
There you go.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.